way we consume and share news today, it is largely rooted in social media outlets, a reason why it's crucial to look at what's being discussed online. So let's get a closer look at some of the hottest issues and trends for Social Media Minute. We're joined by Erica. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Wednesday.
Yes.
Can you believe it? We're almost through March.
Yep. I noticed that. I noticed that.
Yeah, I think past like the halfway point of each month, I just let out like a sigh of relief, and I don't know what it is. Like, oh, okay.
I'm hating the dust, the fine dust.
Yes,
but I'm loving the flowers that I'm seeing more and more.
You know, I do wonder, we can't have it all, like the good air and the flowers and the early morning.
Those are very, very rare living in the city.
When we have it, we'll let you know, we promise, because it's rare. All right, let's jump into our first buzzword of the day. We clearly can't go a week without talking about ChatGPT and its variations. AI chatbot is the way to the future, and Kakao doesn't want to fall behind. They launched their pilot of their chatbot only for it to be shut down rather quickly.
That's right. They shut down just one day after the launch of its beta service. We're talking about Kakao's new AI-based chatbot service, 다다음, or DDMM. The company has promised to resume the service soon, but, many were concerned about all of these incorrect answers the chatbot was giving. And, people are concerned that the company may lose its ground amid the intensifying global competition to dominate the AI market.
And we're talking about some of the biggest companies in the world. So how does Kakao fare? That's the golden question. Now, Bill Gates said in a podcast back in February that improvements in artificial intelligence are the most important innovation at the moment.
Yes.
He has spoken.
Yeah, his words. This will change our world. ChatGPT will become every bit as important as PCs or the internet. Now, the history of artificial intelligence goes all the way back to the 1950s.
No.
Did you know?
No.
But the AI technology has largely failed us until 2010. But the progress made in the last decade or so in the field of AI has been really just truly remarkable.
Okay.
Now, finally, after 7 decades, machines have started to recognize the world, and they're speaking in our language, minus the emotions.
Yesterday, I stumbled across some memes from iRobot. It raised all kinds of uncomfortable questions for me. We have too many sci-fi movies. That makes us think of the worst. But, we've interviewed enough people on the program to manage our expectations and realize maybe ChatGPT and these AI chatbots can be used as a sidekick, not the main deal. We'd still have to do, cross-checks and fact-checking.
But the thing that scares me is that things are changing so fast. Again, like you said, we can't go a week without talking about ChatGPT, and people are already talking about, they're asking questions. Is this the end of internet searches?
Yeah.
What's going to happen to Google?
Exactly.
Right?
Google
the industry is
trying to stay relevant by bringing in their own version of ChatGPT, right?
Yes.
So in order for these tech companies to stay relevant, they have to embrace this change. So from a business sense, it makes sense, right? You either go big or you go home. Now, so Kakao went big. Then in 24 hours, they were like, okay, maybe we just need to work on the glitches a little bit more. So what made Kakao decide to abruptly suspend a chatbot service despite probably realizing that doesn't look good for the company?
So Kakao cited the unexpectedly high number of users, which surpassed 12,000, but the decision has been largely attributed to growing complaints from its users who negatively compared the service with ChatGPT.
Okay.
Now, one user on social media said they asked 다다음 to draw some pictures. However, 다다음 just simply shared the links to websites related to those pictures.
Okay, so it didn't draw original.
It didn't draw.
Okay, it just found something online and gave it to you.
Exactly. Another user pointed out that Kakao's chatbot took about 10 minutes to answer a query or deliver on a prompt.
Then
has
I
10 minutes?
would use the encyclopedia.
Yeah. exactly. Now, industry officials also criticize Kakao for its failure to predict the number of users willing to test Tadaum's beta service. Some critics even ridicule the company as being amateurish.
Oh, dear.
Considering the fact that it has, 48 million people that use its messenger app, Kakao Talk.
So they couldn't foresee that more than 12,000 people will try to log on at the same time and try to make use of something that's the talk of the town. Come on now, get with the program. Okay, so how has Kakao responded to the criticism? They're very well aware that they're not getting
quite there
compliments.
Yet. So Kakao Brain acknowledged the defects in its chatbot service. Okay. It said, quote, "We do not guarantee the accuracy and credibility of its answers, which could include some inappropriate expressions. When using the answers, users shall take all responsibility."
I understand. This is just a beta, but is that a best way to deal with this? Probably not. Maybe, I understand it's important to be like the first to do this and try something and test the waters, but really, you couldn't foresee this. The company last month unveiled its plan to come up with a vertical AI service by the end of this year.
That's right. It's saying that instead of competing with global companies, the company will instead focus on a vertical AI service utilizing Kakao Brain's Co-GPT, which is fluent in Korean. Now, regardless of the abrupt suspension of Tadaum, Kakao says it will integrate its AI technologies with Kakao Talk's email and schedule notification functions to provide more personalized services.
All right, so there you have it. It was just, the first chapter. I'll give it a break, but the next time we talk about it, I hope it's not giving me fake answers, false answers, or giving me pictures found online without crediting the source.
And tell me that it's my responsibility.
Yeah, I don't know who wrote that, because a human mind is behind that public message. I'm not quite sure if that's the best way to deal with customer complaints. It is your responsibility, customer. So tough love.
I don't know.
All right, let's move on to our second buzzword of the day. I saw pictures, and pictures were enough for me to be a little bit horrified.
It's claustrophobic?
Okay, so I didn't even realize that I was claustrophobic, but these images certainly conjure up those emotions. So they're not just small apartments, they're micro apartments in the heart of Tokyo.
That's right. Young people are simply unable to afford Tokyo's rising rent prices. Now, each micro apartment measures just 9 square meters, which is just under half the size of a typical studio apartment in Tokyo.
Okay.
Now, their tiny proportions are offset by white walls. There's a large window at the back and a 3.6 meter high ceiling. And the block in the Yotsuya district of Tokyo is among 100 buildings opened in Tokyo by this one real estate developer in the past 7 years, and they've proven to be very popular.
Okay, so there's clearly demand for affordable homes. So there you have it. Tokyo's apartments, if you've checked real estate.
Notoriously expensive.
Exactly. Yeah. And the fact that it's getting higher and more unaffordable. So how much do then these tenants pay for these micro apartment units?
Yes, so for one unit, we're stringing an image of one unit right now. Tenants pay as low as $376 a month, around 50,000 yen. If you go to the more fashionable locations, that would go up to 80,000 yen. Now, critics say these micro apartments boom the highlights. They highlight the lack of affordable urban housing for young, underpaid workers. Their quality of life is sacrificed, these critics are saying, for convenience and affordability. But some others disagree, actually. They say the idea is to give these young tenants financial breathing room while they consider their long-term futures.
Okay.
So these tenants are not going to live in these tiny units for 20, 30 years. Okay. Probably more like 2-3 years until they save up to buy a bigger place.
Buy a bigger place. Yeah. And I'm noticing what these pictures, it's really surprising. It's a wide angle, which means it's even taken to make it look slightly bigger. And even with that, it's so crowded.
I know.
And so congested. All right. So for our listeners who don't have visuals on it, what do the units look like inside?
So there's a kitchenette. with a single electric hub. So you can cook something, not something fancy. There's a shower, a toilet.
That is surprisingly close to the cooking unit.
Very. You can actually sit on the toilet cover.
And cook. Okay.
If you really wanted to. But why go there? Okay. There's also an upper floor bedroom that is accessible by a ladder.
So that's where you benefit from the high ceiling. So I'm assuming this is probably majority filled out by younger tenants?
Yes, exactly. Around 60% of the tenants are male, most in their 20s and 30s, with just 1 in 10 over 40. Roughly 2/3 are in the early stage of their career, so they're just starting out. Fresh out of college.
Okay, so I'm trying to remember how I was like when I was in my young 20s, and was I eager to just get things started? I think so, and there's more room for me to feel a little bit not happy, but relieved and satisfied to find housing in an unaffordable city like Tokyo. Same thing goes for Seoul.
Yeah, so you know what? The residents say they're happy to put up with the modest dimensions in return for low rents and the convenience of living really close to their workplaces.
Okay.
You know, there's also shops, restaurants. These are bustling, urban locations. So there's a lot of access to everything.
Okay, so maybe a majority of the time they spend outdoors, and then inside their homes, rest, cook small meals.
That's right.
And then call it a day.
Yep.
All right, on to our final story today. I do turn to my dog from time to time and think, you really have the good life.
How much are you willing to spend?
Oh, I can't say that on air.
Bagel.
That is so embarrassing.
We've been talking about micro apartments for people who can't afford rent, but some pets these days are living a pretty luxurious life.
Yes,
or lives. Their human companions are pouring a lot of money into making sure their properties are attractive enough for their pets. And of course, social media has helped popularize a lot of these deluxe pet items.
Because you know what? Animals photograph beautifully, and there are enough social media, I think, plugins for pets to have their own Instagram profile. So it is a lucrative business, so you get the gist. Now, you may judge or don't judge. It's up to you. One of our listeners asked, that much, Holleen? No, it's a reasonable amount. I just still don't want to share. Celebrity pooches have been known for a while to enjoy the luxuries of life. They also get a lot of, ad inquiries, right?
Yes, exactly. Paris Hilton's dogs have enjoyed an air-conditioned 2-story Spanish-style villa known as Doggie Mansion. This Doggie Mansion sports a chandelier and a balcony with a wrought iron railing, according to her Instagram feed. And she added, "This was my old home. I no longer live there." But anyways,
sure.
Do you know Doug the Pug?
Yeah.
Yeah, Doug the Pug has a love for wearing elaborate costumes. He has over 1 billion viewers across social media platforms. It has its own closet, 15-foot closet for his outfits, tiny cowboy hats, cashmere sweaters. A bunch of sunglasses. Nala the cat is also popular.
I'm
a cat
person.
This adorable feline. We're streaming her right now. She's super cute. She holds the Guinness World Record for the cat with the most Instagram followers.
Why not?
She's a rescue, actually. She lives with 5 other cats and a dog. She lives in a home in California.
I'm seeing Los Angeles.
With more than 10 cat trees, a cat wall mounted with feline lounging purchase, and we're talking about real luxuries here. One of my students actually is doing this passion project, and he's interested in architecture, but his focus is architecture that is pet friendly, animal friendly. So
designing a home that is more animal friendly.
Exactly.
That might be the future. I mean, there's clearly demand for it. People are willing to cough up a lot of money. Maybe not go to like Nala the Cat's extension or Paris Hilton's lavish lifestyle, but
that's a little bit on the extreme.
Right. These are extreme examples, but I mean, there's enough services out there. I've seen massages for dogs, therapies for dogs. There's everything.
Yeah.
I do send my dog to acupuncture, but in my defense.
Oh no, you
he's
know
an
what?
old dog.
I have friends who send their dogs to acupuncture because they're old and they hurt. Their joints hurt.
And I don't want them to hurt. The irony is acupuncture for me, the human in Korea, is rather affordable. For dogs, it's not. They don't get health insurance.
Of course.
I'll leave it there for now. Thanks, Erica.
Pleasure.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
If you're listening to our program using the podcast service, just a reminder that we do go live Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Korea Standard Time. So tune in and help us make the show more informative by giving us your input. See you bright and early on Good Morning Seoul.